Yeah. And what we say, New York City.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? Battletech here for BattletekHD Gaming, and this is my review of Resident Evil 7. Now, when Resident Evil 7 was announced and we found out that it was a first-person view in the game and they were tacking on VR, those two things, plus, you know, the track record of the last 3 Resident Evil games haven't been great, so I was really skeptical on how this one would turn out. I absolutely love this Resident Evil. This game is great. But before I get into the good, I want to just briefly talk about some of the annoying things in the game. But again, these things really don't break the game, and I still had a blast with it. The first thing is going to be lack of enemy variety. Now, there's a reason for the lack of enemy variety, and the reason for that is I'm not going to get into it because that spoils part of the story, which is revealed towards the later part of the game. There's not many different types of enemies, so don't expect to see, the standard dogs and zombies and lickers and bulls, and you're not going to get that variety. So if you're expecting that, you need to manage those expectations just a little bit. The second thing would be the controls. At times, the controls feel very slow, sluggish, and I'm not going to say unresponsive. It just feels sluggish, really sluggish, and I don't know if this is by design to add a little more tense moments to the game, but it's definitely a thing, and you're going to have to get yourself accustomed to the slower, more methodical movements that your character has in Resident Evil 7. Now that those things are out of the way, let's talk about the good stuff. Right off the bat, the graphics are great. There's going to be a lot of post-processing, so you may see it look grainy, but again, that's by design. They're trying to mimic the found footage look of movies like Blair Witch Project and Cloverfield and things like that. So you're going to see like tracking lines and brief, static, and it works to pretty good effect. Overall, the game just looks great. Player models look fantastic, aside from some wonky hair physics here and there. But other than that, the game looks great. The sound design, they really pumped up the creep factor in this game. From walking through the kitchen and you can barely bump into a chair and you hear the wood scooting across the floor and it'll like freak you out because you think something's coming, to the sounds of somebody walking on the floor above you when you think that you're alone. It really adds that horror element to the game. While I'm talking about the horror element, another good thing, and this is another part that I was very skeptical on. Resident Evil 7's producers said that they were going to be returning to its horror roots of survival horror, and I was very anxious to see this in practice because Resident Evil 4 was shit to me. In terms of being a survival horror game, it was a cool little game, technically, like as far as the controls and how the game played, but from a Resident Evil standpoint, it was so far off the mark to me. And I hear so many people say that 4 was the best one. That is total dog shit. I would go with Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I would even put Veronica in the running, but 4, fuck no. But before I ran off too much, they said they were going to return back to the roots of survival horror, and I'd be damned if Capcom delivered on that promise. Everything from puzzles to the save rooms, the backtracking, finding the different types of keys with different shapes. The game felt exactly like Resident Evil. They took like some of the best parts of the previous Resident Evil games, the early Resident Evil games, and put it into a first-person game, and the result is utterly fantastic. I can't say this enough. The puzzles are so it's just great. I'm not gonna start talking about puzzles, even though I kind of spoiled them if you were watching my stream on Facebook and YouTube. But the game was just great. There were plenty of jump scares, the ammo and health. There was plenty to be found. After I played the game, or after I finished the game and thought back on it, there were plenty of opportunities to get ammo, but the situations will have you like scrambling. And again, if we go back to those controls, the controls, like I say, felt kind of wonky, so you may miss a couple of crucial shots, and when you waste ammo, it's like the worst thing in the world. So all of those elements are back from the old Resident Evil. So kudos to Capcom for delivering on that. I was very happy, very pleased. How does this story tie in with previous Resident Evil games? Simple answer, short answer, it really doesn't, except for maybe one small element. So you really don't have to play any of the previous games to, make a connection to this game. It's just, again, I'm not gonna spoil it, but there were two things that were like directly related to the older games, but nothing that's gonna continue the story. It's just gonna be something that expands upon the Resident Evil universe, which is cool because this game opens up a ton of possibilities for future DLC, found footage tapes, and things like that. I really like the state of Resident Evil right now. So let me know what you guys think. Did you enjoy it as much as I did? I can say without a doubt that had I paid a full $60 for this game, I would not have had a problem. This game was great from start to finish. I enjoyed every moment of it. It didn't feel long and drawn out like my video, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Did you enjoy this game as much as I did? Are you planning on getting this game, or are you just too much of a scaredy cat to play this game? And you will fucking jump on a bunch of parts in this game. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like and share this video with your friends. And as always, I appreciate you checking me out. And remember, less trolling, more gaming. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.